It's officially time to panic for Mariners fans. The Mariners have played their absolute worst baseball this month, going 5-11 in the month of September thus far, in the midst of a playoff race coming off of a 21-win month. So let's talk a little bit about where the Mariners are at, what we need to see out of them the rest of the season, and maybe one little bright spot here at the end of the video. I'm not going to keep you here any longer than you need to be because honestly, the Mariners don't deserve it. They don't deserve our time right now. They don't deserve us to watch whatever they're putting on the field right now. The product is horrible at the moment. The offense is non-existent again, just like it has been for basically all year. The pitching staff has been straight up bad, and honestly, they're just playing really bad baseball right now. After losing Game 3 to the Dodgers and getting swept by them, the Mariners went to 81-68, 13 games above 500. They're now 2.5 games back of the American League West Division title, and they're 3-7 in their last 10. 5-11 in the month of September. Not only that, but the Mariners have officially fallen out of the wild card. They're now 1 game back of the Texas Rangers. And obviously we know that that gauntlet of the rest of the season is coming up. The Mariners have a 3-game series versus the Oakland Athletics, and then those last 10 games when it goes Texas, Houston, and then Texas again. Those are coming up very, very fast. The Mariners need to get it figured out before then in Oakland right now, starting today. There are 4 teams vying for a wild card spot, and only 3 of them can make it. The Mariners are the only team on the outside looking in that has any possibility of even making it. They're 13 games out from elimination. Obviously, as of right now, it would take until the end of the season for them to get eliminated. That could change very, very quickly depending on what could happen. The good news is the Mariners still do control their own destiny. They face the teams in front of them 10 more times, as well as facing one of the worst teams in all of baseball for the next 3 days. Don't get me wrong, the Athletics have been decent lately. They beat the Astros. They took a series from them. The Astros also lost a series to the Kansas City Royals. The one good thing that we have to look at as Mariners fans is that the rest of the American League West has been painfully mid. As of right now, the Astros in their last 10 are 5-5, including losing 2 games to the Athletics and 2 games to the Royals. The Rangers are 6-4. They did lose a series to the Cleveland Guardians and have lost their last 3. Of course, and the Mariners are again 3-7 and losers of their last 3. The other team in the hunt is the Toronto Blue Jays. They are on a 3-game winning streak right now. They're a half game up in the wild card standings and 6-4 in their last 10. Again, starting today, the Mariners start a series against the Oakland Athletics, a 3-game series. Then we have the Astros starting a 3-game series versus Baltimore, and then the Rangers start a 3-game series versus the Red Sox, and the Blue Jays start a 3-game series versus the New York Yankees. The Mariners definitely have the easiest opponent over the next 3 days, and if I'm being honest with you, just with how close this race is right now, it's an everyday thing. We could look at this tomorrow, and all of a sudden the Mariners are somehow right back in a wild card spot and working their way towards the division if all these teams lose. It's that close. That is how close this race is for the division, for the wild card. There's no 2 ways around it. The Mariners, if they play well in Oakland, can still be in a very, very good spot depending on what happens around the league. And again, the Mariners do control their own destiny up until this point because they have 7 games versus the Rangers. If you beat the Rangers out in that series and you take maybe 5 of 7, you're in the playoffs. No doubt in my mind, you're in the playoffs if you do that. You beat the Astros 2 out of 3 times, you're in the playoffs. It's just as simple as that. You could even possibly win the division by playing well in those 10 games. Thankfully for us, all of us are saying that it's over for the Mariners, but all the other teams are saying the same thing about their playoff chances as well. However, they didn't have a 20-year playoff drought to show them, hey, it's probably over. Of course, the Astros probably think they're fine, right? They think they're just fine, although they're not used to not running away with the division lately. But they probably are like, okay, well, the boys have an easy schedule ahead. We'll be all right. We'll be in the playoffs. Again, the Mariners are 5-11 in the month of September. If they wanted to finish with 90 wins for the 3rd consecutive year, they would need to go 9-4 the rest of the way. Is it impossible? No. But it needs to start with the Oakland series starting tonight. And then you need the other, let's say the Mariners sweep Oakland, you need those other 6 wins or 5 wins, whatever it is, to come probably against Texas if you want a chance at this thing. And again, the Blue Jays still have a tough road ahead as well. They'll be taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. They still have more games against the Yankees or Red Sox. It's not an easy road for the Blue Jays, and the Astros have the easiest way the rest of the year. Again, the division is not out of the question yet, but it's looking bleaker and bleaker with the Astros having one of the easiest schedules in baseball and the Mariners having a relatively tough road ahead, but they're still by no means out of it. Is it time to panic? Absolutely. But just remember this. For 20 years, we watched this team in September and had no reason to care about the result. Yeah, it sucks watching the Mariners right now. They're bad, but the overwhelming majority of me says that, hey, it's at least cool that we have something to root for in the month of September, right? And for the Mariners, the playoff scenarios are still pretty wide open. They could take the third or the second wildcard spot or even win the whole damn division. Let's break down exactly what that could look like for the Mariners in this video on the screen now. Appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners!